Please feel free to grab a chair, throw it anywhere. Don't feel like you have to stand in the back of the room. Okay. Jack, are you ready? Okay. I'm going to call tonight's meeting to order. Please stand for a salute at the nation's flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In attendance this evening are Supervisors Fisher, Aguizio, Casiola, Savavik, and Fleer. In addition, Township Manager Don Januso, Jack King, Director of Planning and Assistant Township Manager, Sean Buckavinsky, Chief of Police, Engineer Dan Deiseroth of Gateway Engineers, and Township Solicitor Gretchen Moore. Before we begin our actual meeting this evening, I have two people that I would like to recognize. The first being Rich Coder. For those of you that don't know him, I'm going to totally embarrass him and ask him to stand up. He is not only a fireman in Muse, but he's been the crossing guard at Muse Elementary for years now. He is an amazing man, and he keeps the traffic going and stands out in the pouring rain or the snow, and he's decided to retire, and so he deserves a round of applause. As parents of Muse, not only as a board member, as a parent of Muse, he is amazing and will be dearly missed. So thank you for everything. Secondly, I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize Ethan Buckavinsky. Ethan, if you want to stand up. Ethan is a sophomore at Cannon-McMillan High School and was chosen to represent the Western Pennsylvania chapter and is among of the FBI Academy and is among the only 60 high school students from the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico who will participate in this program. He participates in the following activities: student council, computer science, future medical professionals, drama club, and is on the crew for the fall and spring musicals. He will stay with the other students near the FBI Academy, located in Quantico, Virginia, while taking courses at the Academy. They will receive instruction in the American system of criminal justice, police organization and function, criminal law, and the structure and operation of our criminal courts, as well as leadership skills and personal development to include ethics, integrity, and decision-making. The group will tour the FBI headquarters building in Washington, D.C., and meet the FBI director. In addition, students will be given the opportunity to run the FBI and United States Marine Corps fitness endurance course called Yellow Brick Road. At the end of the program, students will participate in a graduation ceremony that will be attended by their family and friends. As you can imagine, this is a huge accomplishment. 60 kids in the entire country were chosen. Ethan was one of them. If you want to give him a huge round of applause. Ethan, if you want to say a few words quickly. Jack, do you want to grab the microphone? Mr.
All right. I would like to thank the board of directors for recognizing me today, and I am pretty excited to go to the FBI Academy.
Awesome job, Ethan. If you want to take a second and get a picture with your parents, I'm sure your mom would love that. You can leave your mask off for the picture. And board, can we just jump in that picture too? We're going to hijack your picture. Hop in. That's a huge accomplishment. Yeah. Thank you. Comments will be taken at this time for any item to be voted on by the board that appears on the agenda. General township comments or questions will be addressed after the Board of Supervisors discussion of old business. Please step to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Okay. Yeah. This evening, we held an executive session at 6:30 p.m. regarding Rose Avenue.
Cindy, that man wants to come up.
I'm sorry, did you want to have? No, not yet. That's not an agenda item. That's at the end. We'll give you an opportunity to talk about that at the end. Go ahead.
On the agenda right now?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Please just state your name and address for the record.
Darlene Barney, 980 Cannonsburg. Although it's Cecil Township. I've been having residents ask me,
Can you, Jack, can you hand her a microphone to hold? Sorry, we struggle with that one. Yeah, I struggle with it too.
hey, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I have had residents asking me, since the township is moving backwards with the Klinger project, are we going to be able to recuperate the 260 plus attorney fees that was spent on the ABB property when the contract was broken?
No, that is not an agenda item, so we will address it at the end during
Well-
general citizens' comments.
The agenda item, I guess, was Klinger Road, being that I don't know exactly what resolution it is. I didn't get a chance to look at it.
But Klinger
that's
Road,
fine.
ABB is not on Klinger Road.
No, but that's the reason we're going to Klinger Road, right?
Well, we
Okay.
will
All right.
answer your.
We'll talk about it after.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else? This is just specific to agenda items. General township comments and questions will be taken at the end of the meeting. Okay. Announcements. There's a flea market Saturday, June 12th, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., sponsored by Cecil Volunteer Fire Company number 3, Ladies Auxiliary at Cecil Volunteer Fire Company number 3. Limited spaces available, $20 outside spot, $30 inside spot, RSVP to Ruthie Bushmeyer. The information, I won't read it to you, it's in the agenda. We're bringing back movies in the park this year. The Croods New Age, which let me just say my daughter absolutely loves. Saturday, June 12th, 2021 at dusk in Cecil Park. The Historical Society will meet on Wednesday, June 16th at 7 p.m. And Cecil Volunteer Fire Company number 2 annual bike run and Rough Creek concert Saturday, June 19th. You must be 18 years and older. Bike registration starts at 9:30. Kickstands up at noon. Band begins at 4:30. Fireworks over Muse Friday, July 2nd, 2021 at the Muse Ball Field. And the municipal offices will be closed Monday, July 5th, 2021 in observance of the July 4th holiday. I'm actually going to skip ahead to Resolution 110, 2021. Consider hiring Noel McMullen for the position of Township Fire Chief at an annual salary of $85,000. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor?
Can I just say, to make it clear that he's an at-will employee, subject to the employee handbook?
Yes. Added to the motion, he's an at-will employee and subject to the Township handbook. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Passes 5-0. I'd also like to do 111, 2021. Consider hiring Noel McMullen for the position of Emergency Management Coordinator at an annual salary of $5,000. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Frank, did you say yes?
Yes.
Oh, okay, sorry. 5 also passes 5-0. I'm going to pause again for the resolutions to take a second to introduce everybody to our new Fire Chief, Noel McMullen, also known as Chief Mac. If you want to step to the microphone, we'll give you a few minutes.
Actually, I don't need a microphone.
He doesn't. It's impressive.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Board of Supervisors. thank you to the ladies and gentlemen in the back of the room. I have taken about a week so far and sat down with a handful of those folks back there, and very excited and enthusiastic about the future of the Township Fire Departments. And we got a lot of work ahead of us, but I feel very positive and very good about it. So thank you.
We are excited to have you. Welcome. I just want to take a quick second to say thank you to the men and women in the room as firemen. This process could not have gone better if you guys hadn't been there to help us. And so part of the reason that Mac is here today is because of how wonderful you all are. So I think you all deserve a round of applause as well. And we,
Cindy, allow Noel to introduce his family to the.
yes, that would, yes,
his
you're
wife
right,
and
Eric,
Hannah Mack
please.
Senior.
To my left is my wife, Karen.
You can stand up. We don't bite.
No, it takes care of that.
Sitting next to her is my daughter, Zoe.
Welcome to Cecil Township family. Thank you. Okay, sorry, back to the beginning. Resolution 100, 2021. Consider oh, did I skip one? Sorry, yeah, I did. 99, 2021. Consider application 2021-0008 for the Mcconnell's Trails revised PRD plan contingent upon addressing comments from the Township Engineer's letter dated May 17, 2021. Location, Mcconnell's Trails, planned residential development, R2 medium density residential zoning district, applicant Mcconnell's Trails. The Planning Commission recommended approval with the contingency on May 20th, 2021.
Just want me to give it a minute, or?
Yeah, let them clear out. They probably want to go chat in the lobby, not hear our fun, normal business.
Okay, good evening. Grant Shiring with PVE. We are requesting two items tonight. The first is approval for the revised final PRD. The second is approval for a revised Phase 2B. So the first request is for a revision to the PRD. On the screen right now is the approved tentative plan, which showed a mixture of townhomes in blue, duplexes in green, and then single-family lots in orange. There were a total of 291 units that were approved. When we came back for our final approval, we revised that, and the density went down to 269 units. What we are looking at is, based on market conditions right now, townhomes, we believe, are in higher demand. There's been some new players that have come into the market, and we don't believe that the duplexes, there's much more competition for it. So what we're trying to do is switch the townhomes to duplexes. Groups like Traditions of America, Scarmazzi, those people are
You're switching townhomes to duplexes or duplexes?
Or sorry, duplexes to townhomes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I just want to make sure that's
Yes, yes. So switching the duplexes to townhomes. So on the screen right now is the proposed final plan. The townhomes are located in blue. The change is primarily along this street corridor. So where these were duplexes before, they are now townhomes. So again, there is a total of 291. And the tentative PRD approval is what gave us the approved density. Sorry, this keeps going in and out. It gave us the approved density. So we are in compliance with the tentative PRD approval with this proposed change. As part of this, we have to provide additional guest parking spaces for the townhomes. We are doing that in multiple locations throughout the development. However, I've highlighted 3 locations where we have to request approval from the Board of Supervisors because we are going into the 50-foot required buffer setback. So these 3 locations here are encroaching into that setback by 9 feet. This is a blow-up of one of those sections. So the 50-foot buffer is this red line that runs parallel to the property line. Where we are encroaching into it is this 9 feet that's highlighted in the blue. Now, as part of the original approval, we were already grading slightly into this buffer area for the proposed road, and that was approved. This is just a slight adjustment to provide for those additional guest parking spaces. So that was the revised PRD. This is the revised Phase 2B. Phase 2B is shown highlighted in red. This is the original approval for Phase 2B that showed the townhomes, duplexes, and single families. There was a total of 48 units in this phase. And this is the proposed revision showing the duplexes that were changed to townhomes.
So there is no change of the single-family homes, they remain single-family?
There is no change to the single family. So we received the township's comment letter. There were 3 comments that I believe we can address. The first one was identifying the handicap sidewalk ramps at the intersection. We will provide that label as well as a detail for what those ramps will look like. The grading plans, 2 of the comments were associated with the encroachment into that 50-foot buffer, and the last comment was dealing with getting the PRD signed and sealed, which we will do. The rest of the plans were signed and sealed. The PRD was missing a seal. We'll add that to that. So with that, if you have any questions.
What about the handicap ramps in the first phase?
So on the original plans, I don't believe they were called out. Is there intent to build those?
Yeah, I believe that NVR, the builder, is installing. I think they have
That's not a handicap ramp when you go down to the top of a curb and then drop down. You need a smart level to put the handicap ramps in. Those are not handicap ramps.
We can look into Phase 1 and what's been constructed.
Pardon me?
We can look into Phase 1 and see what was constructed. And then Phase 2B, we'll make sure that that's detailed correctly as you're talking about.
And another thing, I think I talked to Dan, I think we need to change our ordinance, that these radiuses have to be bigger. Every radius up there, the sidewalks are all crushed and busted up.
I know that there was some issues at the main entrance due to construction traffic and some of
Correct.
the larger vehicles coming in. I am not aware of any issues in.
If you come up the road and make the first left, that's all crushed.
As it currently
Go up
stands.
and make the second left, they're all crushed.
Okay. As it currently stands, those do meet the ordinance, so yes, I mean, if the board was doing that, that would be at a later date, separate item.
Anybody have any other questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Passes 5-0.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
That was for both 99 and 100.
Right, that's what his motion is.
I guess. Can we do that separately, though, just to be clear? We'll say that was 99. We just moved and approved 99. Now we'll take a separate vote on 100. Wait, hold on. Okay, go ahead. Carol, you will mark this in the record as voting on 100. Okay. Moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Approved 5-0, just for clarity. Thank you. 101-2021, consider setting the date for a public hearing on conditional use application 2021-13 for the Omega Building Company self-storage facility, location north side of South Point Boulevard, within the South Point Square Development C1 General Commercial Zoning District, applicant Omega Building Company. The Planning Commission recommended approval contingent upon addressing comments from the Township Engineer on May 20th, 2021.
This is the former self-storage development that Tom Robinson did over off of South Point Boulevard. And this is just a new building that they're proposing there, so it's sort of a reapproval of the development. So you'll see it when it comes in for the hearing. Just giving you a brief brief idea of what it is. So you just need to decide on the hearing, that's all.
We have a particular date, Dan, that it needs to be scheduled before.
I would think that it should be set for next Board of Supervisors meeting if possible.
Prior to, like an hour?
Prior to, yeah.
Okay, so 6 PM, what's our, July, I was playing on my calendar, July 5th. Oh, yeah. Are we sure about that? Okay, so Tuesday, July 6th, at 6 PM. Everybody okay with that? Okay, we don't need to take a public vote on that, do we, right? Yeah, it's just that, I didn't think so. 6 PM. Okay, moving on. 102-2021, consider the fourth release of financial security posted for the installation of private improvements for Castavish Property Phase 2 land development from $57,398.75 to $10,000, a total reduction of $47,398.75 as recommended by the township engineer.
Yeah, this is the redevelopment of the elementary school that's over off of Route 50. They have done all the improvements there. We did a final inspection. They need a couple things to be installed there, so we're recommending that they be taken down to just the appropriate amount to cover those remaining items. So it's a nice development. They did a good job over there. Just a few things missing and just some cleanup work on the township end.
Do I have a motion?
Question, Dawn, do you know, can you share with the public what needs done, or what is $10,000 worth?
Well, the remaining items they have to complete, Eric. They have to put in wheel stops. They need to do an as-built plan, and they need to sign an operations agreement. The $10,000 is more than adequate to cover that.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 103-2021, consider the approval of the construction of additional sidewalk at the cul-de-sac of Woodcliff Drive by South Point 2 Property Owners Association Incorporated with the condition that the cost of installation and future maintenance will be borne by the association, which they have already agreed to in writing. Has Gretchen reviewed that writing? Have you reviewed that agreement?
This is the second one of these that they completed. So the South Point Owners Association is sort of completing pieces of cul-de-sac or completing pieces of sidewalk that were not done by other parts of the development. So we did one down at the intersection right near the Mylan building. They did one before, and the only contingency of this was that they agreed to operate and maintain the sidewalk as they do all the other sidewalks in there. So they're going to build this. This is the little plan that they would be building this. So they're just connecting a sidewalk from this location to this location here. This is actually a pathway that leads up there right now from one of the building sites. So all you're doing is formally approving this with the understanding that it's not the township's infrastructure.
I just want, can we just have Gretchen just
Sure.
read the agreement briefly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, just to make sure.
They didn't even want to come to your board agenda, so I told them they needed to come to get it approved. So
Much appreciated.
that's fine.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it,
Moved
pending Gretchen's approval or review.
Yeah, good idea. Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 104-2021, consider the sixth release of financial security posted for the installation of public and private improvements for the Traditions of America Phase 1 from $838,131.09 to $608,423.70, a total reduction of $229,707.39 as recommended by the township engineer.
Again, this is ongoing work at this plan, and the work has been completed in accordance with the developer's agreement. The money is due, and I'm recommending the reduction.
Do I have a motion?
Dan, where are we at with Hahn Road?
We're waiting on the developer to provide some information from his study of the road. They did some test borings over there,
Okay.
Ron. So Hahn Road is bonded separately.
Okay,
So anything that you're doing tonight, you're not doing anything to okay releasing money for Hahn Road.
okay, thank you.
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 105, 2021, consider the second release of financial security posted for the installation of public and private improvements for Traditions of America Phase 2 from $781,999.40 to $302,997.02, a total reduction of $479,002.38 as recommended by the township engineer.
The same recommendation. They've done work over there, and this money is due. They're moving very quickly in Phase 2, and as you know, they've had other phases approved. So this money is due, and we're recommending it. Just a reminder to the board that we don't let this number go down to the point where we can't cover any of the items like the final paving, the as-built plans, all the maintenance items. So we never let this number go below 15% of the total until they have all their ducks in order and they're ready to turn the road over to the township. So, and that's for the public too, to know what we're doing here tonight.
Appreciate it. Do I have a
I'll
motion?
make a motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
5-0. 106, 2021, consider the first release of financial security posted for the installation of public and private improvements for Traditions of America Phase 3 from $820,361.30 to $702,453.30, a total reduction of $117,908 as recommended by the township engineer.
Yes, same recommendation on this one. They're just starting the work there in Phase 3, so it's a smaller reduction.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a
Second.
second? Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 107, 2021, consider the first release of financial security posted for the installation of public and private improvements for Traditions of America Phase 4 from $923,763.50 to $733,133.50, a total reduction of $190,630 as recommended by the township engineer.
Yeah, same one on this. Again, they just started work, a little bit more work done in Phase 4, but we're in agreement with what their request is for.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 108, 2021, consider award, I'm sorry, that was double worded. Consider the award of the Ridgewood Bridge Repair Project to Thornberry, Inc. in the amount of $484,169, which is $390,169 for the base bid, $25,000 for alternate bid 1, $17,000 for alternate bid 2, and $52,000 for alternate bid 3. Do I have a motion?
Can we
Wait,
discuss these alternate bids?
Yep.
Yeah, Dan, you want to explain what
Get
that
it,
means?
get it on the table. Make a motion and have a second, then we could have discussion.
We can.
Well,
do-
What are the
we-
alternates?
yeah,
1,
we
2,
can
and
ha-
3,
We
what are
can
they?
have discussion now. Dan, you can talk about the bids.
Sure. So just to recap on the bids, we did get good response on the bids. There were actually 6 people that submitted bids that ranged on the base bid from $390,000 up to $537,000. When we came to this board a few months ago and did our presentation on the bridge, the board agreed at that time to replace the entire deck and the beams. That's what was agreed upon. And that's what's in the base bid for $390,000. So as we got into the project and got into the details, there were a couple other things that we wanted to consider. Number one, the bridge has an issue with its orientation in the stream that it causes a deposit of sediment downstream of the bridge. So we're trying to do a couple things to prevent that from happening in the future. We took an alternate bid to replace one of the center piers, which is askew, and that askewed, we're trying to realign that pier more in line with the stream direction. so that will cause less sediment issues. So that was one of the alternate bids. The second alternate bid was to install what we call a rock vein in front of the bridge. What the rock vein does is it will channelize, again, keep everything flowing under the piers and through and under the bridge, as opposed to scouring the sides of the bank as it approaches the bridge. And that prevents the sediment from being deposited downstream, which is now an issue. And then lastly, the last item that was bid as an alternate was the actual addressing the sediment that's there right now. If the board recalls, we got a permit a couple years ago. Public Works was going to take care of dealing with that sediment that was there. We took a bid on that work to get it done as a part of this project as a whole, and that's the other alternate bid that's included. So, I mean, the board can do any one of the following, any one of the base bid and add any of the alternates you want. It's our recommendation, since the numbers were favorable, that you proceed ahead. Again, this is going to extend the life of the bridge further, prevent future maintenance of the bridge. Again, it's within what we estimated, so I'm up to answer any questions.
The base bid came in significantly lower than what we anticipated, correct?
Correct.
Like hundreds of thousands lower.
Well, our estimate was $535 just for the bridge deck and the beams, and it came
So
in at
like-
$390.
So like 145,000 less.
And we wouldn't even be talking about the alternates if we didn't get such favorable results. But we always take them to try to, try to make sure we're going to do the project, but give some options to make it better.
For sure.
I
I'll make a
agree that
motion.
pier needs turned. I mean, that pier that's currently in there needs turned the other direction.
Correct. It needs adjusted.
Does a possibility exist, Dan, that alternate bid 3 could be done again by Public Works? Saving the taxpayers $52,000?
Yeah.
No, they can't do that.
They can't?
Public Works really doesn't have the ability to do.
Did they do it last time, you said?
Well, they were talking about it, but they would have to rent a big machine and take on things that they don't normally do. So I think that it's always better to contract for that work if you can. Then if there's problems, they can come back and fix it. You get all the guarantees with having a contractor do the work.
You gotta pump that whole creek around. You don't have the pumps in it to do that.
Yeah, you have to put a coffer dam in.
Coffer
That's a
dam.
trout stream. There's certain conditions that you can work around the trout stream. So
When are they allowed to start working there? With it being a trout stream, I mean,
I think they're okay now, and they want to move quickly because we're past the season, the certain season, but they're ready to move. They have steel available, which is unusual at this time. So unlike Creedmoor, we're waiting on the steel. Here, the contractor fortunately has what he needs to go on the job pretty quickly.
I was just wondering with the Fish Commission, when,
Yeah, it's all a part of the permit. We got a permit to do this work, so it's all stipulated within that, and it was in the permit. I'll find that out and get that back to you, Ron. I'll tell you before the evening.
If this
ends.
gets approved tonight, when would it be opened? You'll get back to us with that information?
Yes, we'll
Okay.
get back. There's still got to be, we still have to get their contracts in, do a pre-construction meeting, all that other stuff before they would start, but I'll let you know when the dates are. I did know that, but I forgot about it already.
Do I have a
I'd
mo-
like to make a motion and approve all three alternates.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Passes 5-0. 109-2021, consider authorizing the township engineer to bid the site contract for the development of the Klinger Road property to include the grading, erosion, and sediment controls and sewer and water line extensions upon issuance of the NPDES project.
So just a little description of this, the site project, the early site project to actually create the pads to build the new Public Works building on. We've been seeing favorable results on bids for these types of projects now. So rather than wait around and just and wait to be prepared, we believe that the permit is imminent to be issued. We've gotten back from the DEP some comments. We issued ours back to them. We expect to get a call any day now that the permit will be available. So we would propose to get that project on the street as quickly as possible, take advantage of the weather to get the early site work done, and then the board can have some time to think about the buildings and other things that are going to go on there. But the basic grading to the site is not going to change. So just asking for that approval if the board sees fit to do it. That's where we
Dan,
are.
I understand you want to do a 30-foot cut up there on that hill?
20.
20-foot cut?
Yeah. Yeah, I have to cut some, Ron, to make the pad. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I heard 30-foot, I was like, geez.
No, there's one wee little piece where it might be a little more than 20, but that's not the majority of the site.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. We already did the next two. So 1/12/2021, consider a 5-year contract with Full Service Network for the municipal building telephone system at a monthly cost of $404.51. Dawn, do you want to quickly, or do you just want me to? You can.
The system that we got, the proposal from Full Service Network, gives us an actually state-of-the-art phone system, and it also ties in our lines. What it does is you're not necessarily leasing the equipment is provided to you. So it also provides an excellent service contract with repairs being made sometimes within 8 hours, at most 24 hours. Any equipment breaks, it's automatically replaced. So it's great. It's a great system for us. In addition, because the lines are tied in with the same contractor, we're paying $200 less than what we would from Comcast. So overall, it's a net savings of over $200 to the township on our monthly bill.
That's great. For those of you that have ever tried to call the township, sometimes you can't actually get through, which has been a huge problem, and we basically got sick of trying to get Comcast to fix it. So, good job, Dawn.
Question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Dawn, is that the company from South Point?
No, it is not.
Okay, where are they from?
They're from Pittsburgh.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion? I'll make the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. 1/13/2021, consider approving the sale of used equipment auctioned through Municipid as following: a 2013 Ford F-150, $10,280, buyer Renee Auto. 2013 Ford Taurus, $5,500, buyer Abo Ali. 2010 Dodge Charger, $1,400, buyer Tom Anderson. 2009 Dodge Charger, $1,400, buyer Tom Anderson. A 2008 Dodge Charger, $1,300, buyer Tom Anderson. And a 1996 Craftco 100, $2,550, buyer Kalani. I don't know how to say the last name. Awahi, thank you. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 1/14/2021, discuss turning over the old Cecil Township Jail to the Cecil Township Historical Society for renovations. I was approached, Tom, I'll talk about it. I was approached and asked, for those of you that don't know, there's an old jail that sits down Route 50. For years, we've talked about renovating it. The Cecil Township Historical Society is interested in taking it over. I think it'd be wonderful. I think the board agrees that that would be wonderful if they could do that and renovate it. The only thing that...
Restore as opposed to renovate.
Restore. The only thing I would ask, Gretchen, is that maybe we write an agreement between us and the Historical Society, just saying that should they run into a problem or something happen, they return it back to us. It would become...
Or they ever dissolve or disband.
Yep, dissolve, because we're basically going to give them control of it. So if something would happen where they would disband or dissolve, then we retain ownership.
So we transfer title to that parcel, but then we would get it back if they dissolve or disband.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. So, do I have a motion?
That would be my motion then to transfer title of the jail parcel to Cecil Township Historic Society for restoration on site, with stipulation that the parcel will revert back to the Cecil Township if the Historic Society ever dissolves or disbands.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Right now, Madam Chairman, there's someone here who wants to talk a
Oh,
little bit
sorry.
about what they would plan to do with it?
That'd be awesome. Who wants to? Can you, yeah, would you mind just stepping the microphone? Thank you.
John Yago, 387 Muse Bishop Road, lifelong resident of Cecil Township. Find myself as the president now of the Historical Society as a result of a recent restructuring meeting. We got some board members here as well. So we just wanted to re-express our interest in seeing the jail get restored. So look forward to working with everybody.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you.
The one thing, keep in mind, there is a paper street that goes
Round.
in front of that.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look on a tax map, I think it's 107 feet by 95 feet by 50 feet
We had this,
around it.
Dan made color copies. Dawn saw that already.
I know where it is.
Sure. Sir.
Hey,
You saw that, yeah.
Sean, if you didn't mind, you know some of the history already, or you learned some of the history on the jail and how that was,
Well,
the building
Yeah, as a result of some recent facts here.
did you share with the
Sure.
public?
Was originally started construction in 1906 and completed early 1907. And if you've been up here to look at it, I guess at one time it had an iron door on the front of it, which is no longer there. It was taken out for scrap, right, during World War II. Has been out of service since then, but.
I think at the time, Otto Belling was the sheriff.
Yeah, it's going back.
There used to be a little pot-belly stove in there,
Yeah.
and the two cells are partially,
And then the cots are still in there too, two metal cots.
partially, they're
Yeah. I know there's
pretty
some
rough.
grading on the one side to the right of the door, but the door's.
Right.
That drawing shows the dimensions on it of what the township's parcel is. This is the size of the parcel, the distance from the sidelines. Obviously, for parking, if they do restore that, they'll have visitors to it. And I think we can work with the adjacent property owner to make sure that our paving areas would abut where people can, we can basically share parking up there if we have an event or something up there. Can you put that up, Jack? Just so they can see real quick.
First time, the supervisors voted yes, but one of the residents said it wasn't binding. So they brought it up a second time and it was voted down, and the third time it was voted yes. There was later interest in putting a second story on it to have a meeting room upstairs.
Is it structurally sound enough to do that?
But during the war in 1922, they took the metal and for civil defense. During the war, I just found that out today.
CIC Drive.
Well, the last thing that almost happened was they was gonna move it up to the park. And Mr. Fuchs was gonna pay for that, it was $100,000. And then they couldn't find nowhere to put it up there because it's sewer line. So they just said, leave it there.
From what I understand, the mortar and between the bricks is coming out. So we have to get specialists to do that because you can't just put cement
Yeah, you
there if you're gonna restore it.
Are there people, I mean, I assume there's people that do that.
There's a big company in Pittsburgh, and I'm sure that's part of what we'd have to do research on and stuff like that. To get estimates, because we have to do fundraising.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be pricey. It's not something that's gonna be able to be done within a year.
You might want to talk to the original Venice church. They just did that to their whole church up there. They repointed the whole place.
Thank you. It was moved and seconded. Did we take a vote? I can't even remember. Did we take a vote? No. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. 115-2021, discuss revising the township sign ordinance. Do you want me to, or you want to talk
No, I
about it?
don't care.
I don't care either. You
This is something that's been really bothering me. These signs nailed to telephone poles everywhere. push-in signs everywhere. Now, South Fayette has an ordinance, they don't allow none. And first of all, it's illegal to put a sign on a telephone pole. And what South Fayette does is they give everybody one chance, they call them, to pick up their signs. If they don't, then the road department picks it up and they throw them away. I mean, we're just polluted with signs from everything, for vaping, you name it.
Yeah, there's a lot of junk on the side of the roads because as they blow over, then nobody comes back to pick them up. So Ron went to other municipalities and got some of their ordinances to consider. This is something we'd have to have Gretchen look at. But I agree with him 100%. It's something that needs to be done. Political signs have to be picked up within a week of the election, but he's talking about the signs that say like, you know, we'll buy your house, like buy vape here, CBD, like all the random stuff that you see along the roadways that just they keep putting signs up for.
And one of the big problems right now is we're cutting the sides of the road, and he has to pick the blade up over there, and you leave a big clump of grass there, because he can't be getting off tractor moving all the signs.
Right. Kathy, did you have a question?
I was just thinking, does that mean business signs too? As opposed, like, you see some people like to put in like a hair salon or a tanning salon.
It's all signs.
Would that include those two?
Right now, Ryan Homes can put their signs out at 4 o'clock on Friday. But they gotta pick them up by 7 o'clock Monday morning. And they're pretty good about that.
I think if it's, we could, I mean, we've obviously talked to Gretchen about this, but like if there's something temporary, like you want to advertise a new business and you want to leave it out for a week, as long as you're responsible for coming back and picking it up. Yeah.
When they first came to Cecil, you saw them all over the place. And some of them went away just in the natural time of it. But every once in a while, you still run across, and I mean, that's no longer
Right. And that's the problem is like as they accumulate, I was out on 980. There's just, if you walk the sides of the roads, they're just everywhere.
Well, at the intersection of East Michigan,
Right.
you go to that stop sign and it looks like a junkyard in front of the.
Yeah, exactly. So if we want to take a vote to allow
Wait, Tom, didn't you want to say something about the fining?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Our road department just going to pick things up. I don't think that's enough. If someone has campaign signs out and they lose the election, a lot of people just leave them out because they don't care anymore. Our guys shouldn't have to go out and clean up their signs just because they didn't respond to a call from our code enforcement officer.
Isn't that though handled under the elections office? Because I know there's a week, you have to pick them up in a week.
But Gretchen, I thought I talked to Ron about this, and we should probably look at that for every sign we pick up, they should be cited for it. It's the same thing with the signs on the utility poles. The power companies have the right, it is against the law to attack things on those poles, but also our ordinance prohibits it also. So I mean, it prohibits it, but it doesn't seem to say that what's the consequence after it. So would you look at that for us to see if it needs to be addressed like that?
If everybody's okay with it, we'll have Gretchen bring us something back for next meeting, a draft. Eric?
That's good with me.
What?
It's fine with me.
Okay, you're okay with it? Frank, you're okay with it? Okay. So you'll get us something, Gretchen, for next meeting?
Yes, I
Okay.
will send you something.
Now, that would exclude residential property or whatever people want to do
Yeah,
on their
you
own
can't-
property and their
yeah,
rights there.
Yeah, you can't.
well.
This
As
is
long
for-
as they're back out of the right of way.
Yeah, you can't, we can't restrict private property. 1/16/2021, consider the Board of Supervisors' regular monthly minutes from the Monday, May 3rd, 2021, Cecil Township Board of Supervisors' regular monthly meeting.
Moved.
Seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
1/17/2021, consider the general fund invoices from May 1st through May 31st, 2021.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Hang on one second. Yeah. So Board of Supervisors discussion of new business, discuss fire chief's vehicle. So we obviously just hired a fire chief who needs a vehicle to get around. Dawn and I have been looking for vehicles, and we've got 2 actual used possibilities. One is the Lawrence Volunteer Fire Company has a Suburban that they are interested in selling us. What was that cost? $20,000. $20,000. It has 55,000 miles on it. It would come with the radios, lights, and sirens already installed. There is also a vehicle that North Strabane is currently selling. It's a 2018 Tahoe. It is $33,000. It also comes with radios, lights, and sirens. I mean, you guys all know you voted on this stuff before, but lights and sirens and radios can run in excess of $10,000 sometimes. So there's a huge savings right there just buying a vehicle that's already equipped.
What year is the first one?
2007 or 9, I forget. Here, I can look, hold on. So I would just, if you're okay with it, I feel like I want to authorize Dawn to look at both vehicles, look at the Kelly Blue Book values, and then we would make a motion for him not to exceed a certain dollar amount, and he can work with the new fire chief to pick whichever one is the best. There's obviously a savings right off the bat because we're not buying a brand new vehicle, we're buying a used vehicle, and there's a savings because of the equipment already installed.
Can Donnie take one of our mechanics with him?
Yeah, for sure. Dawn, did you hear that?
Yes.
Can you go look at, yeah.
With one of our, Dawn, with one of our mechanics.
That's what he said, yeah. With one of, yeah. Are you guys okay with that?
I am.
That would be fine. I would like to add that during the last PSATS conference I was at in Harrisburg, a number of municipalities, I spoke with Chief one time about it, but when they confiscate vehicles from drug busts or different things that way, there were a few municipalities that they can claim those vehicles. And like, might be something newer but that is an option that is out there that probably should be investigated.
When was it, 2018?
Yeah, the one from North Strabane is a 2018.
All right.
2027.
But the point is the cost to the taxpayer is zero. They were taken from drug deals or different situations that way, and the municipalities can get their hands on them.
I feel like there has to be a cost to it. We can't just take vehicles even through a drug bust.
Have to go through the district attorney's office. I'm not familiar with the program right now. Many vehicles they have, a lot of times they use them for undercover drug situations. A lot of times they're not really good vehicles. I think Jack was complaining about one in the back, and I'm not trying to tell you guys what type of car was, because it was that undercover vehicle, but it was pretty beat up, and we were worried about somebody sitting in the parking lot on the vehicles, so they're not in good shape. There might be something out there, I can ask the DA, but I don't know the process.
It's not gonna be equipped though.
No, not for this purpose.
What was the year of the Lawrence truck?
It's either a 2007 or 2009. They have similar mileage. That's why the 07 truck in Lawrence has 55,000. The North Strabane vehicle has 49,900. So that's why I wanted Dawn to check them both out and then make, I know, but let Dawn, so I'm gonna make a motion that we authorize Dawn to purchase one of the vehicles not to exceed $35,000.
Didn't we technically buy that vehicle the first time for the chief, and we're buying it again?
What, chief?
Or the vehicle that's there in Lawrence? Didn't we buy it through the funds given to the fire department?
I guess technically, because we give them taxpayer funds, but we give them through a 501c. If you want to have that conversation with Lawrence about them just giving it to us, but I can't see that. I don't know. You can have that discussion if you want to.
No, do you see my point, right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So, okay, Dawn, I'm going to make a motion that we authorize Dawn to look at the vehicles and not to exceed $35,000. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Eric? No. 4-1. Discuss impoundment fence. This is you. Or you want me to? The fence? The fencing. Dawn, you want to talk about it?
I can explain.
I could explain it too if you want me to. Go ahead.
I mean, there was discussion about an impoundment fence. Just my portion is I could secure bids for anything up to 20,000. Anything over 20,000, we'd have to, of course, put out for public bid or jump on CoStars.
So we have sometimes where we need to impound vehicles in the back, they're just sitting out. So we've talked for, I don't know, a couple meetings now about putting a fence around them. We need to authorize Sean and Dawn to get 3 bids in order to get the fence put up.
I
That's good.
would like to explain a little bit about this. So unfortunately, the township has a responsibility. There's a new law out about impounding vehicles and keeping it as evidence. They're making the police departments secure it in a facility that's not accessible to non-law enforcement. Right now, through past years, if a tow company did tow a vehicle for us, they would try to secure it, but they would still have access to it because it's their property. So I mentioned to the board and to Dawn about blocking off a certain area behind the garages. We did everything it can to not make it more involved in the parking lot area because I'm concerned about the sight distance coming around the building. I met with Bill Bodorf and spoke to him. And the way we're going to do it, if you're looking at our police garages, we are actually not going to put the fence close to the corner towards the police department side. So that basically be covering the 2 garages closer to the employee entrance here. And it has an 18-foot gate area, so a tow truck can back in, drop the vehicle off. I'm looking at a privacy fence as well because we don't want, people to be looking in or seeing a junk vehicle or a damaged vehicle. This could be from an accident, from a fatality, to a crime scene with a vehicle, but we are responsible. I have cameras in the building, around the building to keep an eye on the vehicle. And unfortunately, we're in a situation, like I said, where we're required to keep it protected. I've had vehicles here. Unfortunately, we have people walking through, roller skating, parking next to the vehicle, and again, that's not keeping the property safe and secure. And we will get the vehicles out immediately when we can, so it may be a week or so. Not committing to a time frame, but we will make sure we keep it clean and there's not vehicles sitting in there for months or years at a time.
Sean, what control do you have over that to get a vehicle out? Like, what's your say-so in that?
Processing it, taking photos of it, working with the district attorney's office to, again, clear any evidence. Typically, in that situation, we don't really ever have to hold on to a vehicle. The insurance companies can take possession of the vehicle, and they have done that. They do that with the towing companies now. But this would be, again, to get us to process the vehicle, take prints, take photos, bring in any kind of professionals in to do measurements, and then once we can release it, we will release it immediately.
Who would come and take it to get it
The
out of there?
insurance company usually does, or the property owner.
Sean, did we look into putting it down by the Public Works or somewhere out of the way, or you could have a camera on it?
Well, unfortunately, again, that would probably not work because the police department, the police officers, we're looking at it's an 8-foot fence, but we'd probably have to look at a different situation, probably more money involved. You have the officers going in and out, constantly to protect it. Know it's there. It's the same thing. If we put it in Public Works, then Public Works may have the opportunity to go in there. It's not at our facility. Really, there's not much room. Dawn, do you have those measurements by any chance? I don't know.
Could it go to a third party? Could someone else house those?
Well, that's what it is now, and we cannot do that, no.
How about, when's the last time we talked about purchasing that property from Dollar General or the piece along the side of the police parking lot or down behind the back? We were supposed to negotiate to get that into the township hands. So we could put stone between the current parking lot that faces Dollar Store and,
That could be an option if the board wants it. We need it at the police department. I, again, wanted to make sure that we weren't taking too much of this parking area, which we aren't. You're still gonna have a throughway. It's just, again, I think it's, don't quote me on this, 16 feet out from the garages. So we did all the measurements just to kind of make sure it's gonna fit. It should fit fine.
16 foot.
We just like 2 vehicles out, basically. We were able to get
That's
2
at least
vehicles
40
out.
feet then.
Yeah.
No, it's, I wish I had the measurements. Maybe I do have it in here. I actually do, I'm sorry. It'd be 38 feet, I'm sorry, out. The length of it from garage to garage is 42, and then there will be an 18-foot double gate that's in the center. So when we have the SWAT trailer that's in the garage over here, which they bring that in and out anytime there's a SWAT call out. That's where all their gear is. We tow the vehicle out. We have the speed trailers in there. It just gives us more buffer room for the garages. We are obviously taking over the garages. We don't have much room in there now. But we can keep the vehicles in there, a large vehicle if we need it. Those are the measurements. But again, we're not gonna go to the corner towards the police department side because of that curve. I'll use that bay open for a sally port for if we have an arrest, we just pull right there. We can take them in the garage door there like we are currently now. So there's that one big garage door. If you're looking at the back of the building, to your right, that's where that's gonna still be open. The only 2 garages I'm gonna actually enclose is the far left one where the SWAT vehicle is and the SWAT trailer, and then the other garage, if you're looking at my garage in the back, the one on the left. So it's not really a big area, but it's more than enough to keep a vehicle in there if necessary. And if a tow truck needs to back in there and drop the vehicle off, it could be dropped off. It gives us a little more security too, if you wanna look at those options as well, because that's where we take all our gear and take it out of the vehicle. We actually put all our gear in the vehicle. I'm sure you guys all seen shift change. The officers are taking shields out, equipment out, any kind of medical stuff that they carry, so they can back in there. And we can also park our trailers out there if necessary. We like to try to keep them indoors, but it also gives us a little buffer to, use that area as well, and it's protected.
Are you gonna
guys
charge
have-
storage for them cars?
What's that?
Are you gonna charge storage?
Not when it's evidence, no. We're not in that business. So we would just take that, secure it. Once the police department's finished with it, and we can give it back to the owner, or if an insurance company does take the vehicle, because it's usually damaged, we will release that vehicle as soon as we can.
Get a price on that fencing, Dawn.
You can't get a little big crowd.
Dawn, he wanted to ask you, I think what we're looking at is trying to get bids to see what we can get the lowest price for. And I obviously want to make sure it looks like it belongs there, the color matches the building, the privacy slots or slats are in there to make sure that we're not seeing a lot of stuff back there anyway. We want to protect it. We don't have to put tarp over the vehicle like we have in the past. And again, this is just gonna, the gates can be open when we're not using it, so it won't look like, there's a big, huge 8-foot fence covering up the back of the garages. We'll just try to keep it open, and again, when we need it, we'll definitely have it there. I have all the cameras there. It's not gonna take any parking spaces. It's basically gonna take the spaces in front of the garages.
Right, that's a staging area right now. That's
Yes,
already-
correct, yes.
Just go get prices then, it can't hurt anything.
Dawn said he'll do
But
that.
in order, if we're okay with him putting it up, can we give him a limit, don't exceed, and then let them accept whatever bid, so they don't have to keep coming back month after month?
Administrative.
Yeah, you can't do that.
How do you know what to say not to exceed?
Well,
I would say it's
you did get
administrative.
one price.
The one price that we would probably look at, it's actually a local, it's Canonsburg Fence Company, because we had to bring someone out professionally to kind of give us an idea about posts, what type of gates would be proper. I believe Bill Baldorfy actually knows this one individual, so he did give a price so far of
$14,400.
So it's under that bid limit anyway.
Correct.
That's what I said. Yeah, it's under
Yeah,
the
get
20.
3 quotes.
Yeah. Yeah. So as long as it's not getting to the point where it needs to be bid,
Yeah, and I believe that if the township in how many years
that's what I was,
decides
yeah.
to take it down, it's not gonna be a big issue to do that.
And it could be maybe relocated
So can
somewhere else.
we,
Definitely use the fence, you know. if
so
you
can
guys-
we authorize I'm going to make a motion that we authorize the township manager to accept the lowest quote for the fence. Not, as long as it doesn't exceed the $20,000 for a bid. Do I have a second?
second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to old business. Discuss PA Turnpike violations. So as you know, we've gone round and round and round with the Turnpike over by Cherry Brook. We entered into an agreement. They aren't abiding by the agreement. We had a face-to-face meeting with them, I can't remember when, in March. In March. They swore up and down that they weren't doing anything. I provided proof. I actually had proof myself, as did Supervisor Savavic, where we were over there and video recorded it. And they said that things were going to get better. They didn't. Gretchen had another call with them, and they claimed it wasn't them. We actually have a resident who lives over on the front row of the Cherry Brook that's just video recording every night. And I think at this point, we just need to go back to court. We need to go back to court to Judge Emery and just tell her, like, look, we entered into this agreement in good faith. They aren't abiding by the agreement. We have proof. We have the nights. They're claiming that they do have the ability to work occasionally overnight, but for those of you that we all get the Turnpike update, if you actually look at it, it'll say we're going to work overnight any day between Saturday through Sunday, or Saturday through Friday. I'm like, that's not occasional, and that's not giving us notice to let the people who live over there. So at this point, they're not gonna agree to work with us. We just need to go back to court with the proof that we have from these cameras and with the dates. He's keeping an Excel spreadsheet now of the dates that they're working past the 10 p.m. curfew, and go back to court and just let the judge kind of work it out. Everyone okay with that? Eric?
I am.
I'd rather not create any more litigations. If there's another way to do it, I'd be all
We
for that.
tried. You were there.
That's my point.
Yeah,
I
we
just don't want
tried.
to spend money in court.
I don't either, but we tried. You tried. We all tried, and they just won't own up to what they're doing. When you were showing them stuff, when I was showing them stuff, they were saying it wasn't real, even though we had our own.
See, the problem we face over that area is as the turnpike progressed from the McDonald area all through the parts of the township in McDonald, then past South Fayette along this edge, they were constantly moving. I mean, it's not a fast project, but they were building mile after mile of road. Now that part gets done and they move out of an area and move to the next area. Here, they've been there for over a year now. They're gonna be there for another year yet. So I mean, that area is just a concentrated effort. All those exit ramps for 3 state roads, the intersections there and things like that. So they're planted there for a long time. So that's why we're getting involved, that the communities are just being abused out there, and it's just endless for those people.
Right. So, all right, so we're gonna authorize you, we'll get you. If you have communication from residents that live in that Cherry Brook corner, can you please provide it to Gretchen so that she can take it with her? I've provided her some of the stuff, I have some more stuff. Eric, if you have stuff that you can provide to her, that would be, Ron, you too, that would be greatly appreciated. Somehow it accidentally got left off, but Rose Avenue, under old business. That was my fault, I missed that it wasn't on there. We had an executive session this evening to discuss Rose Avenue, and I think the board has come to a, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I do want to make a motion, then I know you have to let the residents speak about it after, but I want to get the motion on the floor.
Go ahead. Make your
Second on it. That the motion would be to approve the permanent closure of Rose Avenue at its present terminus, including removal of the existing gate and installation of road closure signage and devices for safety.
Yep.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. I'm going to open it up for anybody within the audience that wants to speak. If you want to speak, I'm going to ask you to step to the microphone and state your name and address. Hang on, let him go, and then you're next. Yep. And then we'll take formal action on it.
Hi, Randall Barton, 70 Lintel Drive. I'm from McMurray. I'm here on behalf of my mother-in-law, who is in contract to purchase 122 Rose Avenue, which is, right, that gate is right in front of that. This was just disclosed to her, of course, a week ago. Apparently, I hear it's been going on for 7 years, someone mentioned. She's, it's an odd scenario, but she's wondering whether to terminate this agreement now because she's unclear of what's going to happen there. And she asked me to inquire, is there any reason this can't just be left open like every other road is? I know it's in the border of 2 townships, but she just can't seem to imagine why it just can't be, the gate be removed and like it always has been as we go township to township or borough to borough. And I said I'd inquire on her behalf. She's elderly, she's an elderly sister, and she doesn't want to have a gate that she has to manipulate.
So this wouldn't be a gate. His motion and what's been seconded is a permanent closure of the road. So our township engineer is actually going to look into some sort of guide rail or something, mainly because this has been going on for 7 years. And the road has been actually closed with that gate for a period of time. It's only recently that the gate has been open and traffic has been flowing.
That was at the request of Rose Avenue residents or of the new development next door?
That was actually at the action of the homeowner who had a lock and key to the gate, who opened it up and has left it remained open. This board, I know there was a previous board that had approved the connection, but this board feels strongly about permanently closing the connection there so that it's done and finalized, so that we don't have to continually have these discussions about the gate or have residents complaining and saying, rightly so, the gate was open today, but it's closed tomorrow. So this will be a permanent, final decision. There's no more gate, there's no electronic gate, nothing. It's going to be a permanent
So that would be a dead end, in other words. And that's that?
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome. Wait, hold on, sorry. She's gonna go, and then he's gonna go, and then it's her turn, sorry, go ahead.
I'm Macy Mardick, 120 Rose Avenue. I do live next to the gate. I wanted to make a statement that I do want it closed. A lot of my neighbors next to me want it closed as well. The traffic has been horrible. Our road conditions have been going down. On Thursday, actually, we were talking on the phone, and a semi-truck, a 40-foot semi-truck, came through the gate on the Apple Hill side and took out power lines. Our cable was out for a little bit. My other neighbor's cable was out for a little bit. My daughter cannot walk the dog. She does, but I'm worried about it, so I'm more upstairs now when she's walking her, and I'm working from home. I would love it if you guys did approve this, but I do thank you for your time.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir. Do you want to come up next?
I'm a resident of Conceal Drive.
Can you give us your name and address?
My name is Earl Dance. I moved to Conceal Drive in 1973. There's some neighbors here that was there before me. We've been paying taxes all that time. And there's some people on Conceal Drive and Rose that have been there since the 60s. I've been looking at this projects you have, and I got to give you my hats off. There's a lot of planning putting in these housing ramps, stuff like that. A lot of heavy equipment going to do this. Our street has we don't have any buried utilities. As the lady said, now it was opened up temporarily. We got 40-foot semi-tractor trailers coming down the road. We have full-blown moving vans coming up Consilla looking for something, knocking down lines, not recently, but last year, and there's no place to turn around. It's a dead end. The semi went up Rose. I don't know if he knocked the lines down, but he went over to Cannonsburg side, turned around where, I don't know, came back down. He had more lines on him than Moby Dick had. Now, so you can't, this can't go on. There's people with kids. Kids used to roll balls down the hill and chase them. They don't do that anymore, but it happens. Sometimes the parents have to go after the ball. There's cars coming up there to Consilla because this place is open. They get confused. They go up Consilla. It's a dead end, just a side street. There's no cul-de-sac, there's no nothing, and then you got big trucks coming up there. You guys made the right decision. If you voted, if that's what I understand, you guys voted to block that, you made the right decision. And we thank you for it.
Thank you. Go ahead, Linda, sorry. Do you want to?
Thank you. I appreciate all the time and effort and listening to my emails and my calls and my complaints and giving you some information that you probably didn't really care to have. But, so I understand now that it's going to be permanently closed. No car will be able to go through there?
There,
Is that
yeah,
what-
there
Okay.
will no be.
So what's going on with 122? What access are they going to have?
That owner would have to make a right-hand turn out of their driveway and go through the Apple Hill Road.
Okay, so because they do have additional access. It really is unfortunate that this has had happened to them because there should have never been a throughway. You know, it was approved years ago, and it should have been done. So, I mean, they are in a way having a problem because they're going to have to go, no, they're going to go the way that everybody else does on the other side of Apple Hill. So, so I'm relieved that we're going to see the less traffic again and the dangerous conditions. And what about the stop signs?
They're staying,
Yeah.
Why are they going to stay?
because we said so, they're staying.
Who said so?
For safety.
Pardon?
This
They're
is
gonna-
slow
Why do you
traffic
feel
down.
that it's safety? Because coming down my street, Concealer Drive, which is, you know, basically we have the full, you know, we're going down to the hill. So it is dangerous if we have to stop at that. If it's snowing, we can't stop. We're not going to stop because we can't stop on that curve. How many of you been up there?
I have.
You have? Who else? I know you.
I have too.
Okay, so why don't you take a turn at the end of Concealer Drive and try that coming down to the stop sign? And what you're basically doing is once you close that road, there's only 3 houses that end Rose Drive. So you're going to make all those 3 houses stop at the stop sign to get down the hill? It doesn't make sense, does it? You're making 3 houses.
There actually should be another stop sign at the bottom of the hill by Burnside.
There is, which is never, as well as Sean knows very well, how much he can see, how much those stop signs are not done. Today, I came down, and there was 2 people came through, one after another, and I'm coming down the hill. Now, Sean tries, and he don't have the manpower to sit there and do it. And I don't know how many tickets you give when you do sit there, a lot. And that's a lesson to those people, but, you know, they just go through the stop, but that's another issue because.
Maybe I'm speaking out of turn and correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, I think there is a period of getting used to it too, like where people are coming through and they're not used to having to stop there. So I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, you really, it's really seems to be, you know, the problem that, the reason that maybe you thought about putting the stop signs in was because of the traffic that we constantly claimed about.
It was unrelated.
So how many people are gonna, you know, and you got a stop sign in front of one of the ladies that has, right in front of her driveway that she can't really even park on. We have limited parking on that street too, so putting those stop signs there.
Let's get the road closed first, all right?
That's true. Well, I really expected for you to say you were going to remove the stop signs because they weren't necessary anymore. So I didn't think I was going to have to argue another point. So, but, so when's this going to go on? When's this going to happen?
We're going to have to work with our township engineer as quickly as we can make it happen. We will happen. I don't want to give you a time frame because I can't commit right now, but we have to figure out how we're going to permanently, what we're going to use to permanently close it. There was just some things thrown out tonight, give him the opportunity, but I would say within the next month or so.
Okay. And my illustrious neighbor over there complained about, he lives on Consilly, he's my next door neighbor. And we will be next door neighbors in the future because we're all going to go up to the Arlington Cemetery, up to the cemetery. But
Hopefully not soon.
I know, and hopefully maybe not close.
I would
don't know.
say
We'll
that's
see.
that's some planning. I thought I was organized, but that's some planning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking that's where you were gonna go with that either. I'm like, oh, you're moving.
I know, I just tease them all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
One thing, to go with her, you're coming down, and we've had 4 residents that, in our lifetime, there's black eyes, nobody talks to black eyes. That's why our founding Cecil fathers did not put a stop sign at the bottom of roads. Black ice, bad weather conditions, you can't stop. So
But-
here comes a school bus, or whatever,
Well, that's a school bus turnaround.
yeah, it's a
Bottom
school
of
bus
the hill,
turnaround.
school bus turnaround.
You can't stop. So,
Okay.
no, you know, there's a stop sign there, you want to stop because we want to be on the right side of the law. And,
I can't control, unfortunately, none of us on the board can control black ice.
But you have to admit, our road department, our road service on snow and ice is a lot better than it was from when our founding fathers were here.
Oh, totally, I agree.
We hear your
Totally.
concern. Let us get the road closed and then we can maybe at that point reevaluate. Okay. I know. Okay, well, okay, thank you. Let us close the road and then we
One
can.
more thing, and my point was, before I got distracted with the comment with him, is that we do have problems. There used to be a no outlet sign at Kinsella and Rose. And our problem is that people, they think that there's a way to get somewhere else and they came up and they don't, and they have to back up. And my husband has had to help them back up because
We
they
had
think that there's a.
discussed
they-
appropriate signage. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had already, that was one of the things we discussed in our executive session was not only closure of the road, but making sure that appropriate road closure signage was put up
Yeah,
there.
right, and that's necessary, but that's the thing. But maybe that no outlet sign's a time, for another time, let's just get what we.
No, it's going to be part of the road closure, is we are going to have to put up additional signage that lets people know that there's no
And
outlet.
I think Dan will contact Canonsburg Borough on their last street before somebody turns out to know that it's a no-through road.
For sure.
Sign up there too.
Yep.
Sure, Dan-
Right.
Dan knows what to do with that.
Yeah,
Right,
he knows
because-
what he's doing.
Yeah, because, Andy Schrader's daughter lives on the other side of Canonsburg, and she complains that a lot of people are coming down and turning around because they're not paying attention to the signage up on the hill. So she should probably go to Canonsburg and try to get some additional signs so they know that it's a no outlet too.
Which is why I was opposed to the gate, because then people don't know, is it open, is it closed? Like, this is a permanent solution. It is closed. There is no more access. Can I ask you to step to the microphone and state your name for the record, please?
I know. Teresa Dance. As far as on the bottom with Burnside and Rose coming down, and I've seen signs, numerous signs around the area, that downhill traffic doesn't stop. It just tells the people at the stop sign both stop signs, that downhill traffic doesn't stop.
Opposing traffic, I think you're talking about opposing traffic does not stop.
Well, it's only a downhill, it's one hill and 2 stop signs at the bottom. And I put a sign down there on each side, the downhill traffic does not stop. You know how they say oncoming traffic doesn't stop? Well,
I mean, the problem, though, is we can't go out through the township and start removing stop signs just because people aren't stopping. Like,
you put them up in a day,
there's
you
a
can take them down in a
There's a
day.
requirement. All right. Thank you. Appreciated. We still have to take a vote, so if there's go ahead. You want to make a comment about Rose Avenue? Yeah, I know.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mohammed. I'm the owner of 122 Rose Avenue. So I thought we were putting an electronic gate, but you guys changed your mind about
I'm
it.
sorry. Could you speak up?
I thought you were putting electronic gate and paying half, and I pay half. And now you voted on closing the road. So I'm fine with that, but at least imagine someone putting a big blocks of concrete front of your house.
That's not what's going to go there.
Okay, so how are we gonna do that?
Dan, do you want to describe?
Probably have to consist of guide rail, some sort of a barrier like you see along the side of the road.
Bollards or something?
Bollards, I mean.
Yeah, it can be posts
Yes.
that has lights, what I
Yes.
mean, something nice.
It is.
And also if you can help me plan my landscape, you know what I mean, so I can put another driveway, you know what I mean, because my house in Cecil Township.
Right, we understand that. So you can talk with Dan. He's going to plan something
Like help me with the driveway. Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, we also don't want to just throw up cinder blocks because if somebody's
Yeah.
driving through and hits it, like there's a
I mean,
liability.
I agree. This gate's been a nightmare for us. My wife,
Right.
she had a surgery in her shoulder. She couldn't lift it.
Right.
The salt truck puts salt.
The only reason why we opened the gate, we didn't open it because we wanted traffic to go through and nobody consulted us from the neighbors. The only reason why we opened it was because the salt trucks, when they come through, they pile all of that snow under that gate and we cannot shovel it.
I can't access my house.
It doesn't go away until the spring. So
Right.
we opened it to let the salt
And
trucks go through.
actually, the township took the latch off for safety reasons.
Can't lock it.
I can't lock it now because
Right.
the township took the
But
latch off.
we feel as a board, and I don't want to speak for everyone, that we need a permanent solution. The gate
Yeah.
isn't a
So
permanent solution.
let's do that. Let's close the gate now. Put the latch back, and you said a month from now you're gonna plan something to close the gate
It'll
permanently.
probably take a month or so, yes,
Yeah.
to like.
Okay.
So you're saying you're going to close it now?
Yeah, put the latch on.
We
Yeah.
can talk to our director.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we can talk to our director. of
Yeah,
Public
because
Works.
I want to please everyone here. You know, I'm not here to make any problems. You know?
Yeah, we can work with you. We will work with you to get that latch put back on while we're planning for the permanent closure of
Okay.
the road.
Also, I'm selling my house, and my house was under a sales contract a couple of weeks ago. Someone told the buyer that actually I have a dispute with the Cecil Township, which is I didn't.
Right.
There is no legal action against me, nothing.
Right.
So I'm requesting a letter from Cecil Township saying that we don't have dispute with the owner of 122 Rose Avenue.
Yeah, we talked about that. We saw it in your email. We are going to draft something. Gretchen,
Okay.
we being Gretchen, is going to
Yes,
draft
please,
something.
because I can't put my house on the market until I get this letter. My agent requested that from me.
Yeah, we will, you can work with Dawn. Dawn will get it to you within the next couple of days.
But at least we want something nice to close the road, you know? I don't want to put like big,
We all
concrete,
feel like
yeah.
that too, and that
Like,
was,
imagine someone put something in front of your house,
Right.
like that. The value of my house will drop
Right.
drastically.
understood. Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. There's been a motion and a second on Tom's motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. At this time, I'll open the microphone for citizens' general comments and questions. Anyone for something that was not on the agenda? It's a race to the microphone. I'm kind of curious. Go ahead.
I'm Steve Masters. I live at 4050 Sir James Drive in Windsor Woods. And I sent Supervisor Fisher an email May 27th about a couple safety concerns in the Windsor Wood neighborhood. And I was wondering if the township could do anything about these.
So I had actually spoken to our chief of police about that, and we had put the speed trailer up there. I had called our director of public works, but unfortunately, this is something that's continually asked in the township about speed bumps and speed humps. Actually,
Well, no, that's something different. The three things were in front of 3002 Sir Charles, there's the sidewalk's incomplete. And around the oval, which is 1 mile, which is Sir James,
I got your email.
Charles and Sir Patrick, there are 75 houses. And 10 are under development, so they're gonna have sidewalks. But there's one that doesn't, right at 3002, which forces walkers, joggers, pets, all to go onto the street. And that's a very busy intersection right at Sir Charles and Sir Patrick. And the owner was one of the original houses bought in the neighborhood, and the sidewalk was on the other side of the road. But they decided to put the sidewalk on the other side, and so now it's nice having a loop, and it's very nice to walk, around that. But is there anything that the township, are there rules and regulations pertaining to sidewalks? And it just seems like that should be completed.
Dan? Okay.
sidewalk that needs put in, we can still ask the developer to do it.
Yeah, we can definitely check into that. I did not, you said May
I,
27th?
May 27th.
I have an email from one of your neighbors, ironically enough, on that, a day after
Okay.
that, about speed bumps
Yeah,
and speeding, but not, I'm not sure.
So, we were wondering that, and the sidewalk that goes up Sir Patrick, it sort of curves off and it doesn't go straight across. So that intersection it would be nice to have, a ramp that goes down, and somebody would, if somebody was on a wheelchair or something, would be able to get across.
We were
that.
just talking about that.
So that's sort of in conjunction, with the sidewalk. And right now, it's getting finished up, so all the houses are gonna be done, and it's nice having the sidewalk all the way around, but that one piece would be nice to complete the loop.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Dan, will you work on that? I don't actually have it. Did you send
I
it to C. Fisher?
I sent it to cfisher@ceciltownship.com.
I'll check through my junk
I can
email.
resend it to you if you want.
Yeah, can you resend it, and I'll check through, what was your name, I'm sorry?
Steve Masters.
Bear with me 1 second, I can check.
The
Okay,
other,
here, yeah, actually, it's in my junk.
you have it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is your email DOLSO?
Dolso@yahoo.com,
Okay,
yes.
so I think that's why. So I saved you as a contact. I'm forwarding this to Dan right now.
Okay, and the other two safety questions were, would it be possible to put a mirror right at the Depoli Road and Route 50? Because the eastbound traffic on Route 50, you're blind. You can't see anything from that stop sign right at the Poli Road. And if you put a mirror up, you would be able to see the oncoming traffic. And, that's a busy intersection. It seems like it's an accident waiting to happen. Having a mirror up there would be such a help to be able to see the oncoming traffic. So I don't know if that's
That road's
possible
gonna
or
be
not.
moved. The road is gonna be moved over.
Oh, you are? Okay, so that will be good. Oh, nice, good. And the third question was, right at the entrance to Windsor Woods at King Edward and DePauli, that intersection is very dark, and it's easy to miss. And was wondering if there was any possibility of getting a street light or being able to light up. That's a new development in Cecil Township. It would be nice to make that visible and safe. So I don't know if that's a possibility or not.
That's also a question.
It was
for the
ordered in
guy.
November.
I'm sorry?
It was ordered in November. Remember, the board authorized 3 of them?
Oh, that's
Matter of
right,
fact,
you
I
did.
just sent a note to our contact at West Penn, and he said, what do you mean it's not
Oh,
installed?
good.
So, yeah, it's been on order since November. West Penn just hasn't had the opportunity to get to it.
Great, well,
There's
thank
3
you
that
very
were
much.
ordered.
Thank you, and I apologize for not responding. No problem. Thank you. And
Dawn, is that the same deal with McConnell Road?
Yeah, those 3, those were part of the 3 that were ordered, yes.
Okay, I'm going to resume. Do I need to say my name again? Darlene
yes, no,
Barney?
I'm joking.
Okay, this pertains to Resolution 109, 2021. I have residents asking me over and over again, since the township is moving backward with the cleaner project, are we going to be able to recoup the $260,000 plus the attorney fees that was spent on the ABB property when the contract was broken?
Gretchen's gonna address that.
Sure. Hi, Ms. Barney. So I think the short answer is, unless there were litigation related to this, there's no return of the money that was spent on that property for the work. I think what happened here is that we had different boards at different times who made different decisions and wanted to go in different directions. I don't think that anyone ever acted in bad faith, and when various board members make decisions, they're all making decisions in good faith. I believe at this time, though, the board is no longer going in that direction. But unless this board wants to enter litigation with ABB, they won't be returning that particular money.
Okay, so in other words, what I can tell everybody, that we'll never recoup the monies that was spent on the ABB, even though that it's in the process of being sold.
I don't think you're going to get it back voluntarily from ABB, and discussions with ABB have yielded as such. So
Because
that's
there
where we
is,
are.
okay, so there's a lot of discussions with ABB right now.
I am having discussions with ABB.
Right, I know. Okay, thank you.
Kevin Camerson, 15 Swihart Road. On that same subject, on the ABB property, I just have one question. It appears it's gone down a different path now where a private person is going to buy the property. What's, you know, it needs cleaned up, in my opinion. So what's different now with a private person going to buy it? What precautions will he take different than if the township was under control to eliminate the continual spread of the air and the water contamination? So if it goes through with this private guy, I mean, what controls are going to be out there? I mean, what's different now with a private guy versus the township doing it?
Because he does this for a living.
Okay, but what controls? What controls, Ronnie?
Sprayers, whatever.
No, okay, but why couldn't the township do it? I mean, why couldn't the township contract with this guy to do it?
He's willing to accept whatever environmental problems are over there. He is going to get rid of the gob piles.
Okay,
He's gonna take-
but what's he willing to accept? He's going to take control. So what time frame is he going to do it? So right now, it's continual spreading.
It is not.
Contamination
It
of
is
water,
not.
dust blowing off. Yes, it is, Ronnie.
The DEP says it is not.
Okay.
It's been
Yes, it
washed
is.
away.
That's all I have to
You're
say.
up here
Thank you.
politicking, is what you're doing.
Don't accuse me of that, Ronnie.
You are.
Don't accuse me of that.
You do it all the time.
Okay, anybody else? If nobody else has any other questions, I'm going to say this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
That's exactly what it is.